Hi, I'm Kathleen Byram, author of Conversations with Donkey, a bipolar journey. It's available on Amazon. Today, I'd like to talk to you about my religion. First of all, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. And what that means to me is, I came up with my own package. I like to say that I didn't buy a package, meaning a bunch of rules and beliefs. I didn't come along and say, okay, I've been going to your church long enough now, and I know your belief system, and I believe that. No, that didn't happen. What happened was I started out as a child. Very, very young, I had a book called God is Everywhere, a little yellow book. You can buy it on Amazon used or the other place. eBay. That's it. So that was my first realization of God and what Mom would tell me about God, which was wonderful things of warmth and love and compassion. And so that's what I thought of. My very first thoughts of God were, and that's what got planted in my brain. Next, when I was around 11, I got it planted in my brain by my grandmother that if I wasn't saved, I would go to hell and burn for eternity. Now, what do you think that did to me? It messed me up. That's what it did to me. I was terrified. And when my father found out that I was terrified, he was furious. Now, you'd think that he'd be kind to me about it and explain a loving God like my mother did. But he was mad. He was mad at his mother, who he didn't have control over, and who controlled him. And he was mad at religion and what it had put him through, and he was mad that God had taken his father when he was only 50 years old. The father was 50. My dad was only like 20-something. He grieved for him forever until the end when he died. His father was a Baptist minister. So my dad learned all this, and he went through the same thing, fearing hell. And when I did it, he was furious. And he had fits of anger. And he would make jokes about Jesus that were blasphemous. And he would scream and yell about the Bible and how stupid it was and things like that. It was bad. And I hated it. And I grew up trying to make sense of it all. And I came to believe certain things that made sense to me and didn't believe the things that didn't. I tried and tried and tried to tell God that I wanted to be saved, that I believed in all the stuff that I'm supposed to do to be saved, and I never felt anything. I thought I would feel something. I have seen situations of people getting saved and being filled with the Holy Spirit and kind of going crazy. That never happened to me. Nothing happened to me. It made me think that I wasn't saved. It was a nasty situation. I learned to cherry pick because I knew that certain things could not be true. Sort of like the sun goes around the earth. I think they say something like that in the Bible. Obviously, that's not true. There are going to be some things in there that aren't true. And yes, of course, you have to cherry pick. In most things in life, there's some truth and there's some falsity. Is that cherry picking when you pick what you believe? I guess so. If I'm a cherry picker, I guess that's what I am. And so I grew up learning things and reading about things and learning other religions, information and things like that. And I started developing my own ideas. So now I believe that there's a God, that God is sexless, and that there is a Jesus, and Jesus is divine. He's the Word. He is God made manifest in human form. That's what I understand it to be. I think Jesus is a person of color, meaning he's brown, or something similar. I don't think he's a pasty white dude with red hair who's weak. But these things don't matter. It doesn't matter what he looks like. And what I understand is, when we see Jesus, we're going to see him the way we thought we were going to see him, the way we think he is. I don't know if that's true or not, but I suppose it would be comforting. I wonder what they do about a crazy person who thinks Jesus is something bizarre, and I don't know. I wonder how they deal with that. Such questions that go through my mind. Okay, that's enough on religion. I've talked enough, and I want to thank you for listening, and I may say some more about this subject in another video. Please make a comment if you have anything to say about religion that you would like to discuss or have commented on. Please put it below, and like and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.